Perhaps the most important part of these declarations from Trump, that's why I told you that the word owning Gaza was so important. Owning Gaza was Bibi's reaction when he said that. Netanyahu's reaction, like, wait, what do you mean by own? And this required an urgent body language reading, and we are here for that. The clip itself was shared, the one that I spotted was shared by Clint Russell. Okay, this is interesting. Bibi seems none too pleased as Trump talks about the U.S. owning Gaza. I think he's negotiating against Netanyahu in real time. I wouldn't be surprised, but this is something, because this is something that Trump has done in other times. He has gone just off the cuff, like just improvised in to people's faces in front of the mic, with all the cameras, with all the press. Let's say this to see what happens. But we already know that maybe Trump already has an idea of what is going to happen. And the reaction, well, the reaction was pretty much expected. But this was Netanyahu's reaction to Trump's words. Let's check his body language first, like all the process, and then we're going to pick up the details.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site.
Okay, the first thing that I noticed, we're going to go part by part, is that the words of Trump are really succinct, are really straight to the point. We're going to dismantle stuff. I'm going to watch it again and take a look directly at Netanyahu's face, because this is the most important. His body hasn't moved much yet. It's going to move, but not yet.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip. So far, so good, right? I don't see many facial reactions in this section.
And we will do a job with it too.
And we will do a job with it too. That's okay. No big deal.
We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous.
Okay, when the moment that Trump says, we'll own it, which that's why I told you over and over again it was important. That was the key word. That's when Netanyahu raises his chin, as he's agreeing. He is mostly agreeing to what Trump is saying to that point. I'm going to mute the clip. So he is okay-ish. And then when Trump says the word, we're on it, then Netanyahu raises his chin. Raising his chin is a gesture of being a bit, arrogant, and being a bit, as in defiant, as in there was a reaction. I don't want to label that reaction right now, because that's not how body language works. But there was an emotional reaction. There was an emotional reaction from Bibi, specifically to the word owning.
All of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the.
And that's when he turns away from Trump. That is important because he was like listening attentively. And it seems that his face was okay, like neutral. That is Bibi's resting face. That is his usual resting face. But when he looks away, I can see a subtle smirk on his face. There's a smirk in there. There was a smirk right after Trump began saying that the United States was going to own the Gaza Strip. So one of two things, he already knew that Trump was going to say that, or he was completely unaware of that. My vote is that he was not that very aware. He was unaware that Trump was going to say that. That's so far my bet. But let's keep on watching.
For dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an.
At this point, I see him like he's pleased. And of course, well, he would be pleased because it's like the United States is pledging that they are going to take care of all the rubble, of all the destruction, of all the dangers of the site, which is quite dangerous. You can imagine how many sleeping bombs, I don't know how to call it, or landmines or booby traps are in there. And well, if Trump is saying that they're going to clean that up, then Netanyahu must be pleased in all cases.
That will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job, do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back.
I want to take a look at his body language, his general body language before and after. I have the idea that he was a bit more comfortable, and his torso, this is important, was a bit turned towards Trump, a bit in the direction of Trump at this point. Like you can see, okay, he's looking at him, all right, but his torso, if you can imagine like an axis or an arrow from his sternum, is a bit towards Trump, but afterwards it is not anymore. It is more to the front. It's like that is a slight sign of rejection. There are things that he is not liking about Trump's words. Maybe it was the owning stuff. Maybe he is pleased about okay, you're gonna do the dirty job, but the owning, well, maybe not so much.
Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years.
You notice that what he does here is he had his hands on the podium, both sides of the podium, and he all of a sudden puts those hands in the middle. It's a bit of a protective gesture. It's like, again, he's progressing from being much more confident with his both hands at the podium, a neutral face, his torso towards Trump, to this posture in which he is a bit more cautious. I mean, we did not discuss this. This was not what we discussed before, but okay, I will go with that. So you can see that there is a subtle change, very subtle change. That's why my bet is that Netanyahu did not expect these words to come out of Trump's mouth.
Beginning of a larger and more enduring peace that will end the bloodshed and killing once and for all. With the same goal in mind, my administration has been moving quickly to restore trust in the alliance and rebuild American strength throughout the region. And we've really done that. We're a respected nation.
I see that sometimes he looks down, and when he looks down, I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go back just a few frames. You see that he looks down, and it's like the smirk is gone. But in general, in this progression of body language, I see that he was more comfortable, more confident, more okay with Trump's words. And towards the end, he was not that much okay. My guess is that, including Trump knows what he was doing with that word, owning. We're going to own it. There was another clip shared by Shadow of Ezra. Sitting next to Benjamin Netanyahu, Donald Trump says millions of Palestinians should voluntarily leave for another country to escape the constant threat of death. Pay attention to Benjamin Netanyahu's reaction. I found this interesting. I'm going to play this clip. Also, I'm going to try to make it as big as possible so you can see it for yourself. You already see that Netanyahu has that smirk. Okay, is that a right side smirk that is it's almost part of his body language baseline, and of course Trump is sitting on his signature feet planted on the ground, and the hands on that downward stipple position. That is his classic posture. Nothing special in there. But let's see the reactions and let's hear the words. Remember that listening to the words is as important as watching the body language.
How many people are you thinking about?
All of them. I mean, we're talking about probably 1.7 million people, 1.7 million, maybe 1.8 million. But I think all of them. I think they'll be resettled in areas where they can live a beautiful life and not be worried about dying every day.
So this is the thing that it's that Trump says that as if it was so easy, right? Let's resettle. What is the number? 1 million. It's that and live a happy life. What was the words?
I think all of them. I think they'll be resettled in areas where they can live a beautiful life.
Resettle in areas where they can live a beautiful life. Well, I don't remember one time from uh, any moment in history in which people that are resettled can live a beautiful life. It's being resettled is from a little bit of a struggle to a lot of a struggle, and generally is quite some struggle. So I think what Shadow of Ezra was mentioning is that when Trump was saying this, we have just a bit of a reaction in here. I'm going to mute to just focus on the body language. He was I think that he was quite pleased with the resettlement word. Maybe he was not that pleased with the owning Gaza, and that's why his body language said. And but the resettling, well, he was completely on board, and we can imagine why. Like we can imagine why. Now, what are Trump's intentions with this? We don't have Netanyahu in the frame anymore. What is Trump's intention with this? That is what we are going to find out in the next section. But first, I want to know what you think about this in the comments about, well, this. What does this reaction of Benjamin Netanyahu tells you? Do you think that he knew what Trump was about to say, or he was completely unaware? It's your call. Let me know in the comments. So, the live chat. Remember to download my free 100 body language tips in the description of this video, and you will be subscribed to my free and awesome emails as well.